Thank you, Madam. Madam, the proposed additional fiscal stimulus has been given to attract investment, generate employment, and to push the economy, which is languishing since the twin economic shocks of demonetization and a poorly implemented GST. Secondly, sharp reduction in corporate tax rates by many countries around the world have forced us also to follow suit. Be that as it may, the removal of the dividend distribution tax will be competitive with other developing countries and will also give higher cash in hand to companies for capital investments, either in the existing entities or in new ventures. So in a way, it will help attract more investment, including under the Make in India initiative. Madam, in a move which is welcome, the Honorable Finance Minister lowered the corporate tax rate to 15% for new manufacturing companies under Section 115B of the Income Tax Act, but also put a condition that only manufacturing units will get the benefit. Madam, the point is, if you look at growth, capital investment and employment creation, the majority of it currently is being done by the service sector in India. And it has a very strong service sector, Madam. But the Honorable Finance Minister conspicuously did not extend this benefit to the service sector, which in my mind should be considered. Therefore, I suggest for the consideration of the Honorable Minister to extend this benefit to the service sector also. Secondly, the benefit of lower tax rate of 15% should also be given to new investments or expansion in existing companies, which will give parity between the new and existing companies, Madam. Madam, through these measures, the government is losing 1.45 lakh crore rupees in revenue. So how is it supposed to get this back? The government is resorting to sell public sector companies to bridge the fiscal deficit. The Honorable Minister has announced a few days back that the Government of India is going to reduce its share in public sector companies, starting with its 53% stake in BPCL and in 3 other PSUs. My point is, Madam, now you're able to sell stake in PSUs to bridge the fiscal deficit. But a day will come very soon, if we continue on this path, where there'll be no PSUs to sell. So what will we do at that point of time? It reminds me of the phrase, selling the family's silver to pay the butler. So I think that's the wrong approach, and I think we need to relook at how we're going to bridge the deficit rather than selling public sector PSUs. Madam, the next point I wish to make is that there are some benefits given to companies if investments are made in backward districts in the form of additional depreciation at 20%. But under the new taxation laws, if the company opts for a lower corporate tax, they will not be able to receive these benefits. This move has really hit the state of AP hard, which is on the verge of financial bankruptcy, Madam. It is because these 2 benefits would help get investments in 7 backward districts. That is Anantapur, Chittoor, Kadapa, Kurnool, Srikakulam, Visakhapatnam, and Vizianagaram. And with this move, investors will not find any extra incentive to invest in these districts, Madam. So I pray to the Honorable Finance Minister to exempt these and other backward districts in the country and allow those benefits to continue even if they avail the lower corporate tax rate. I'm saying this because large investments take higher gestation period and removal of investment-based incentives will discourage investors, which I'm sure is not the purpose of this proposed bill. It is not only loss of investment, but states are also going to lose tax revenue since taxes shared between union and the states are going to be coming down, Madam. Therefore, I request the Finance Minister to please explain how she is going to compensate the states for the lower tax revenue. Madam, one additional point is on the CSR expenses. I wish to submit before the Honorable Minister to allow CSR spending under Section 37 of the Income Tax Act from computation of business income. It will encourage companies to spend directly on CSR. Otherwise, it's considered an indirect way of having a higher tax. So the Honorable Minister has to look into it and harmonize the income tax law with that of the Companies Act. Madam, while I appreciate the flexibility being shown by the Government and Finance Minister to bring the changes to the taxation in order to address the slowdown in the economy, all the measures so far, as many speakers have already mentioned, are addressing only to improve the supply side and not addressing the real issue of declining demand or declining consumption. There has been a shift in mindset, Madam. Before demonetization and after demonetization, if you look at it, People have changed their spending habits and their behavior. They reduced their expenditure drastically during the months following demonetization to conserve the limited cash that was available. But post that, even when the cash became available, people's habits have not returned to spending more. So there's been a mindset change in our people, and that really needs to be looked at. Not only consumption is declining, but even gross household savings is also decreasing and is at a considerable low. Just 1 minute, I'll finish, madam. This is very serious, and we must make a note of it, madam. Consumption is declining and savings is declining, which we can only reach one conclusion, that money in people's hands is coming down drastically, madam. Every industry is in distress, madam, due to declining consumption. The only way to improve this is to put more money in people's hands, madam. The farmers need to be made viable, madam. The PM Kisan scheme, which gave 6,000 rupees per farmer, I'm sorry to say, has not made an impact, madam. 75,000 crores has been spent on this scheme, but rural distress continues as it is, and we don't see any improvement there. Madam, unemployment is also at a 40-year high, and companies are not increasing capacity to add jobs because consumption is declining, madam. To put more cash in hands of consumers and increasing the purchase power parity, please give similar tax relief to individual taxpayers. And my suggestion is for people making income of 10 to 50 lakhs, please make it 20%, and people making 50 lakhs and above, you can make it 25%. That will increase the consumption in this country, madam. Madam, from 2014 to 2019, 1 minute, madam. From 2014 to 2019, Andhra Pradesh's GSDP was the highest in the country and double-digit growth of 11% average over the 5 years, madam. But since the new government has come in, the highest reduction in tax revenue in India is now in Andhra Pradesh, madam. Over 1.45 lakh crore rupees of planned investments are not happening. India's image, credibility is going down, while the risk perception of the country is going up, madam. This needs to be taken note of and something to it done, madam.
Please.
And madam,
nothing will go on record.
Please is standing. I need to say just one thing, madam.
Please be seated. Please.